as Americans first, because we all here under one umbrella, the USA. And the second umbrella, that we are American Muslims. So they're here to see what we stand for, what we believe in. If they have any questions, they're more than welcome to do so. When we leave this center, we are molded into a big pot of different and various cultures and societies. Latin, Europeans, Middle Easterns, Asians. But what really differentiates us is our characteristics, who we are. But we all belong to one nation as Americans. Now, we have a young lady. I don't want to call her a young girl, a young lady, Iman, who will talk to us about Islam briefly, 5-10 minutes, okay? 10 minutes. Let's just give her the decency and the courtesy of listening to her. And then after that, we have also a young man who's going to address us, Muhammad too. So I'm going to turn the microphone to her first, and then we're going to go to Muhammad. So please pay attention, because if there's any details from what they are about to say, we will ask later if you have any questions. Okay. So Iman, go ahead.
Please welcome Iman. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum and welcome to our masjid. Assalamu alaikum means peace be upon you in Arabic, and Bismillah is in the name of Allah. My name is Iman Al-Guz, and I go to Indian Hills High School in Franklin Lakes. I'm 15 years old, and I'm a normal Muslim kid. I feel that Islam isn't something that you can just accept. You have to do research to truly be and understand the religion, truly be able to pursue it. And I'm here to share with you a little bit of an introduction to our religion, and I want to talk about character. So, this is a small verse from the Quran, and it says, وَإِنَّكَ لَعَلَىٰ خُلُقٍ عَظِيمٍ. This verse means you are the highest of the noble character. So, from a young age, this is referring to the Prophet Muhammad, which is our role model as Muslims, and we should always follow and mimic his actions. So, from a young age, as Muslims, we are instilled with certain values, and these values are given to us. So we're supposed to act a certain way to represent ourselves and define ourselves and represent Islam. So some of these values include being good-mannered with everybody and yourself, and this is really important because you have to represent yourself in a certain way amongst others and amongst your family or friends, amongst strangers. And being good-mannered is something really important. From a young age, our parents are constantly telling us to act a certain way, to talk a certain way, to just represent ourselves a certain way. And the second one is to respect yourselves and respect others, and especially respect your elders. So you always have to respect yourself, because you have, even in America or in the world today, a lot of people have trouble respecting themselves because they don't understand themselves as well as they should, or they're still trying to find themselves. And in Islam, this is stressed because we need to be able to understand ourselves as people. We need to be able to know who we are, and we need to know our faith. And that's why you need to be able to respect yourself, and you need to respect everybody around you, because that's also extremely important in any religion, in any faith. And lastly, you have to be extremely honest. We live in a deceptive society, and all around us we see Photoshop, we see all these different things that are lies in a sense. But we're constantly told to be honest, and that's something really important, because the media a lot of the times isn't honest with us. It's a little deceptive in its words and its ways. It twists its words. But we have to be honest to ourselves and the people around us. That way we can create bonds and friendships that can last lifetimes. Also, we have to be humble, and we have to be generous and humble as one of the characteristics. Yet, if you are blessed with wealth or a different strength or something of that sort, then you should feel blessed because of that, because God gave you this, because this is your strength. You have your strengths and weaknesses. You shouldn't try and be jealous of somebody else, and you shouldn't think that you're above somebody else with your strength, because somebody else has a different strength, and everybody's equal. You should never think that you're above somebody else. All these different blessings that we receive are a test from God. The way that you use them is the way that if you use them in a good way, then you have passed the test. If you haven't, if you use it to steal from some people, if you use your strengths, such as being smart, to be deceptive and steal or be a crook, then you have failed the test. In Islam, there's also a pillar called zakat, and you're supposed to give 2.5% of your savings, if possible, to the needy. And this is showing us that if you have the wealth, you need to spread it, because people all around the world are less fortunate than us, and we have to help to make sure that everybody is equal. And that's also part of generosity. And the last one is being tolerant and patient. So I think this one's one of my favorites, because patience is something I lack a lot. And there's this month every year where we have to fast from sunrise to sunset. And this is teaching us patience, because if you really love God, then you will fast that entire day, and you won't eat, and you won't think of bad things or use bad language during that time, because you want to be good for God. And it's really difficult, but it teaches us patience, and it helps us the whole year to feel something special in ourselves. It's a spiritual time. All these characteristics are characteristics of the Prophet ﷺ, which is our role model. And he was cleansed by an angel so many years back. He's obviously not alive anymore. And the Prophet was the perfect human being in a way, and we should mimic all his actions. And that's our religion.
Jazakallah.
I just want to thank Imam really dearly from the bottom of my heart for a very educational little speech that she gave us. Two things I'd like to comment on, not what she said, but in general. Islam, as a word in Arabic, means submission to one God. So the core of our religion is the unity of our God, Allah, the oneness. And everything else built above that. That's the basic foundation for Islam. The second thing is, right after the worship of Allah and the worship of His Almighty, is to take care of our parents. This topic a lot of people miss, and a lot of people don't mention. Islam, before it becomes the religion of worshiping the 5 prayers and so on and so forth, is a religion of treating one another. And if we can't be good to our parents, what are we good for? So if you're leaving the center with one question today to really memorize and remember from our faith, have we met our expectations when it comes to our parents? Do we say thank you when they do something good to us? Or no matter what they do, it's not good enough? And that goes for everybody in the room. I always talk about this, and to me it's my pet peeve. And the second thing is, if you take a look at the screen, you will see the main hall that we were in when we first started. When the Imam's giving a speech, everybody sitting in this hall or upstairs in the 3rd floor, 2nd floor, they would see the same picture. Now Muhammad by now hates me. You know why? Because I took his part. Okay. I just want to introduce to you a fine young man. When I met him, he was high. And mashallah, now soon he's going to beat the crap out of me. Without further ado, that's Muhammad, and please pay attention to him. Jazakallah khair.
Please welcome him first.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. In the name of God, the most gracious and the most merciful, I greet you with the greetings of Muslims. Assalamu alaikum. Peace and blessings from God be upon you. What I love the most about being a Muslim is Islam is a way of life. What I mean is that it organizes every aspect of your life. And as a Muslim, you have to have great character and be a positive, productive member of the society. One of the greatest things I have learned and tried to apply to my life is a great teaching from our beloved Prophet, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Peace and blessings from God be upon him. Is to take advantage of 5 matters before I no longer have them. In these 5 matters, everyone will be held accountable before God on the way we use them. The first one is to take advantage of time before we become busy and don't have any time. To use our time productively and wisely. The second one is to take advantage of your youth before you grow old. Your youth is the most energetic time of a person's life. And as a Muslim, I have to put my energy into a positive way to help me be successful. The third one is to take advantage of your health before you fall sick. And that's why we're not allowed to smoke, we're not allowed to drink, we're not allowed to do drugs, and we're not supposed to eat too much. And we're not allowed to, we don't listen to music, and we don't watch anything wrong, so we don't harm our vision or our hearing. The third one is take advantage of our money before we lose it. I have to watch how I spend my money, and if I have savings, I put 2.5% and I give it to the poor or the needy. And number 5, the last one, which also includes everything in my life, is that take advantage while you're alive until your death. And God will ask you about this on the day of judgment. And He'll ask you how you use or abuse His great givings. Your time, your youth, your health, your wealth, and your life in its entirety. Thank you.
Thank you, Muhammad. That was
I was asked the question before, one asking me if we worship Muhammad. Prophet Muhammad is a prophet, is a messenger, is a human being. We will not worship our Prophet Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam. He's just a messenger. We consider Jesus Christ as a messenger, Moses as a messenger. They all of them come with a message on earth to teach us something or to correct something that's being done before. So we do not worship Prophet Muhammad, even though Prophet Muhammad told us not even to master him. We cannot say Mr. Muhammad. He is not a master. He said, I'm one of you, I eat like you eat, I walk like you walk, I marry, I divorce, I do everything like a human being. So Prophet Muhammad is not our Lord or our God. He is a messenger.
Jazakallah khair. Thank you. Okay, since we're here and we are part of the interfaith committee and the interfaith interaction, as we call it, a lot of times I'm being asked this question: what is the difference between Judaism, Christianity, and Islam? I don't want to go into differences. Instead of looking at what are we different in, let's see what we are agree on. And we are all look at the same exact aim or principle. Judaism came as your high school degree. If it wasn't for your high school degree, you wouldn't go to college. Christianity came as your college degree, 4-year bachelor's. And then after that you go for your what? PhD and so on and so forth. So that's how I like to view the religions, not the differences. We all worship one God. Yes, we might give him different names. And when we get cut, we all bleed what? Blood. What color is blood? Red. Have you seen yellow one? Or green? I've heard that. It's blue when it's in the veins. And then when it reaches outside and oxygen goes into it, it turns into red. Yes, thank you. What's your name, sweetie? What's your name? Zay, you said it was blue? Thank you. But the point is, it's all red. And that tells us something, that we are all what? We are all humans, we are all equal. There are no difference between us. So number one, treat, just like Muhammad said, or Iman, I think she said, treat one another the way you like to be what? Treated. And if somebody doesn't see you, guess who sees you? God does. So judge yourself before you're being what? Judged. This center, again, I keep going back to the center, we call it masjid sometimes, but I like to refer to it as a center or a jami' than just a masjid or a mosque. It's a community service area. It's a community service gathering. I would love for you, our guests, to come sometimes on Friday. We have more than 2,000 people attending the Jum'ah prayers sometimes. This whole thing is full, and the upstairs and the ladies. And when the public school is off, we look for extra places to put our youngsters because we have no place to put them. So, our pastor is here. Let's give him a warm welcome without even knowing that we see him already. Let's give him a big welcome. Okay. Okay, Pastor, would you like to join me here, please? Pastor, we start Sassi. I'm in charge of the committee, the interfaith and the youth committee. So please join us over here. I know your youngsters know you, but we don't know you, so would like to get to know you. Introduce yourselves to us and tell us in a nutshell why our brothers and sisters that we belong to the same father and mother are here today.
My name is Roger Spencer. I'm known as Pastor Spencer, pastor of the Lutheran Church in Glen Rock. I've been there about 29 years. I've been a pastor for 39 years. It's a Lutheran church, which is a Protestant denomination. I've been teaching 7th and 8th graders confirmation my whole ministry. And one of the things we do at Good Shepherd is, it's a 2-year course. One of the years is spent studying the Bible and studying our founder, Martin Luther's small catechism. The other year is spent making trips out to various houses of worship, all different houses of worship, Muslim, Sikh, Jewish, Roman Catholic, Episcopal, all different types, for 2 reasons. One is I like to let them know what other people believe, and then we compare that with the Lutheran faith. And, where is it the same? Where are there differences? But there's a second, just as important part, is once they have stepped into a mosque such as this, they now know people. And so their understanding and their acceptance of others, I hope, is broadening. So there are 2 reasons we do that.
Thank you so much, Pastor. We really appreciate it. On the behalf of the center and myself, I'd like to welcome Pastor Spencer and all the guests. And I would like to tell you in our own language what the pastor just said. We have a verse in the Quran, or an ayah, I should refer to it, because ayah in Arabic means miracle. The ayah says, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, Ya ayyuhan nasu, missed this slide. يا أيها الناس إنا خلقناكم من ذكر وأنثى وجعلناكم شعوبا وقبائل لتعارفوا إن أكرمكم عند الله أتقاكم. Translation. When we say a verse from the Quran, with all the respect, our brothers and sisters, it has to be said in Arabic, because we do not recognize any Quran that's not written in Arabic, and that's what, in a way, preserved that holy book. If you get a book in China and you get a book in Venezuela, for example, and you're on the phone with that person, you tell him to open to a certain chapter, to a certain verse. Both of you, if you're reading it in Arabic, you will be reading the same exact verse. We don't have languages for Quran. Quran was brought down in Arabic and it stays in Arabic. Yes, there's translation to it, but every translation might vary. And what preserved Quran is it was written in Arabic. So now I'm going to go back to my verse to translate it. Ya ayyuhan nas, all people. When Allah spoke in the Quran, He didn't say, all Muslims or all believers. He said, all people. And that belongs to everybody. يا أيها الناس إنا خلقناكم من ذكر وأنثى. We, he refers to himself as a we have created you, or I, thy, created you from a male and a female. And that's the set. And if you notice, everything created around us is created in sets. Day and night, black, white, good, bad, positive, negative, everything in sets. إِنَّا خَلَقْنَاكُمْ مِنْ ذَكَرٍ وَأُنْثَى وَجَعَلْنَاكُمْ شُعُوبًا وَقَبَائِلَ. And then we turned you into nations and tribes. Why? So you get to know one another. That's exactly what the pastor said. To get to know one another. Not to live in your isolated world. What's the point if everybody lives in his own house and not really interact with the people around him or her? So I salute our pastor over here, and I take my hat off to him for what he said, is to get to know one another. That's one of our basics, principles should be in life, to get to know one another. Thank you again so much. At this point, Ahmed, do you have anything in the schedule?
I think Tabana has a couple.
Couple of comments? Okay. Brother Ahmed Tabana is one of our teachers, but at the same time, he's my teacher. I learned a lot from this guy. And he would like to address the audience with a couple of points, so please welcome him. Give him a warm welcome.
Welcome to you, Pastor, and welcome to all you guys. This was really, I didn't really plan for a speech or anything, so bear with me. First of all, I'm really, really happy that you guys were able to make it here. And the only problem that I see with interfaith projects is that we don't have enough of them. I think they really are a necessity in this day and age. A lot of stuff that happens around the world, a lot of problems that occur around the world are because of ignorance. It's because we don't understand how other people think. We just rely on either like a reporter or the media or the internet. And this is where we get our information from. And when that happens, it's really easy to be biased and to have prejudice. And this happens to anybody. No matter what your race is, no matter what country you're from, no matter what your belief system is. You see anywhere you go around the world, if you don't actually meet someone from that place, if you don't meet someone from that denomination, from that religion, and actually talk about any questions that you have, you're not really going to understand them. And this is one reason that I'm really happy that you guys are able to make it here. So we could meet, so we could, like if we have any questions, if any of our kids have any questions, or if you guys have any questions of us, we could like discuss them first person. We don't have to rely on another, like somebody else, to actually tell us what to think or what to believe about this other group. That being said, one thing that a lot of people also don't mention is the importance of community in Islam. Community is not just your Muslim community. It's not just your neighborhood. It's everything that depends on it. So in your community, you have Muslims, you have Christians of different denominations, you have Jews, you have atheists, you have whoever it is. It doesn't matter. It's not our job to judge them. It's God's job. We don't know everything. It's Him that does. So we leave judging to God, to Allah. What our job is to try to work with everyone around us to make life better for everybody else, for ourselves, for our kids, and for the future. That includes in schools. That includes outreach programs, whether we try to spend some time in soup kitchens, shelters, and community centers. Try to improve life for those who are less, who don't have as much as we do, who have not been blessed like that as much as we have. And like I said, this is a really good first step, and I hope that we start building connections and ties with your church, and it really is an honor to have you here.
I know some of you kids here have a question about the difference between Catholic or Christianity and Protestant. So Pastor Spencer is going to tell you the difference between Catholic and Protestant.
Real quick.
Very good one.
The original Christian church was what we know as the Roman Catholic Church. That started 2,000 years ago with Jesus. And that was the only church till about 1500. And in 1500, the Roman Catholic Church was not a particularly good church. If God wanted us to go this way, they were kind of going this way. And a man named Martin Luther, as well as other reformers, said, no, the church ought to go this way. And so they wanted to reform the church. Well, what happened was the church was not able to be reformed, and so it split. So there was a Roman Catholic Church, a Lutheran church, and then even, which were called Protestant churches, even they split. Because, well, we like this part about God, and, well, we like this part. Sometimes for good reasons, but sometimes for not so good reasons, we split up. However, the good part is, after centuries of kind of ignoring one another, we are in a very good relationship with the Roman Catholic Church and with all our other Protestant churches. I'm going to brag a little bit about the Lutheran Church. The Lutheran Church is known as one of the foremost ecumenical churches. In other words, we have official relationships with all sorts of other churches. No other Protestant denominations have that, just the Lutheran Church. We hope we're showing the way for others, and not just Protestants and Roman Catholics, but also for Islam, for Jews, for Sikhs, that we do have differences, but that we dwell on our commonalities rather than our differences, that we see what draws us together rather than what separates us. Yes. Let me just add a couple little things about the Lutheran Church different from the Roman Catholic Church. One of the big things is the clergy can get married. I have a wife, and I have children, and I have grandchildren. That's one thing. Another thing, the Lutheran Church, you can be a woman and be a pastor. In the Catholic Church, you can't do that. Another thing is we don't have a pope. We're not under the pope. Our type of governance, so to speak, is much more democratic. We elect our bishops and things like that. So those are some of the differences. But overall, that's maybe 10% difference from Roman Catholic. We have maybe 80-85% in common.
Okay, without further ado, and if there's no questions, I hate to ignore questions. If there's any quick questions, we'll answer them. If not, the fun part is coming soon. They know exactly what I'm talking about. Snacks, food. If there's no questions, we are going to wrap this up by saying, everybody, say welcome to them. Say welcome. We were really honored to have you with us. Really. And the pastor, of course.
You can say thank you.
Thank you so much for being here. Now, yes, in the back, we have some food, but we also have another invitation for our beloved youngsters and beloved youngsters. After we finish the food, we are going to perform the second prayers for the day upstairs in the main hall. So feel free to join us, please. We're going to perform at about 1:15, so we have about 20 minutes to eat. Grab some snacks, whatever you want to eat, and then we're going to pray upstairs. If you want to join us, you're welcome.